Welcome to Scrum Masters Elite_UK. Subscribe to the channel to explore leadership lessons from elite sports.
There are matches where the result, win or lose, is not what people remember the most. What remains is often how the main figures view their opponents, how they face pressure, and the messages they deliver before the opening whistle even blows. Ardie Savea's comments, as captain of the All Blacks ahead of their clash with the French national team, made me think more deeply about elite sport, about respect, and about the mindset of a leader. The first thing that impressed me was Ardie Savea's attitude when he rejected the idea that the French team was fielding only a second-string side. In modern sport, underestimating opponents is very easy, especially when a team is missing many of its biggest stars. However, Savea does not think that way. He emphasized that France's squad depth is impressive and that any player given the opportunity can make a difference.
In my view, this is not just a diplomatic statement. It is also a reflection of professionalism. An experienced captain understands that if he and his teammates enter a match with overconfidence, they themselves will be the ones to pay the price. Sport always contains surprises, and many historic victories have come from underdog teams playing with absolute determination. I also notice that Savea's comments reflect a very deep understanding of international rugby. He does not only look at the absence of famous names, but also evaluates the French development system, the quality of their domestic league, and their squad depth. This reflects the mindset of a world-class athlete. They do not prepare for matches based on emotion, but through careful analysis, respect for data, and accurate assessment of their opponent's abilities. Through this story, I better understand that the strength of a national team is never based only on a few star players. A sustainably developed rugby system is one where many players can replace each other while maintaining high performance levels. This is the result of strong youth development, a high-quality domestic competition system, and long-term strategic planning. When a nation builds true squad depth, it does not depend too heavily on any individual.
The fact that France are missing some key players due to scheduling or rest after a long season is completely understandable. In modern sport, protecting player health is increasingly important. Packed schedules force teams to manage carefully in order to reduce injuries and maintain long-term performance. Therefore, the absence of some prominent names does not mean the team lacks ambition or is taking the match lightly. What I appreciate even more is that Savea still shows absolute respect for the selected players. He mentioned several individuals who are performing very well at club level and believes they are fully capable of creating major challenges for the All Blacks. This shows a leader who does not focus only on reputation, but on the actual ability of each individual. Another point that made me reflect is Savea's analysis of France's playing style. He does not simply say the opponent is strong in general terms, he points out that they have physically powerful forwards, excellent ball handling ability, and a backline capable of creating danger from any position on the field. This reflects serious preparation. A top team studies their opponent's strengths carefully instead of focusing only on themselves.
I believe this is also a very valuable lesson in life. To succeed, we need to understand both our own strengths and the challenges ahead. When reality is assessed correctly, people prepare better and reduce mistakes caused by overconfidence. Alongside the discussion about the French team, what particularly interests me is the All Blacks transition period under their new head coach. Every coaching change brings expectations but also pressure. Fans expect quick success, while players must adapt to new philosophies, new training methods, and new demands. From Savea's words, I sense a positive atmosphere within the team. The new coach's philosophy is not only about tactics but also about building a spirit of optimism, intensity, and full commitment. These are very basic values, but they carry great significance. A strong team cannot rely on talent alone, it also needs dedication and resilience. I especially like the detail where Savea talks about a young player being given an important position. Instead of adding pressure, he simply asked whether the player was okay. When he received a confident response, Savea chose to trust him and allow the young player to express himself freely. To me, this is a beautiful image of a captain.
Not all leaders need to speak a lot. Sometimes, the most important thing is knowing when to place trust at the right moment. When a young person feels trusted by experienced teammates, they gain more motivation to perform at their best. Conversely, if they are constantly doubted or overly controlled, their confidence can easily be affected. Through this story, I realize that environments for human development always require a balance between discipline and trust. Experienced individuals should not impose all their thinking on younger generations but instead create conditions for them to learn through their own experiences. Mistakes are sometimes part of the growth process, for me personally. This article offers many meaningful lessons. First, I learned not to judge others based only on appearance or what is immediately visible. A team may lack a few star names but still possess great strength through unity and depth. In life as well, every person has their own value and should not be underestimated simply because they are not yet famous or have not had many opportunities to show themselves. The second lesson is to always prepare seriously for every challenge. When facing any opponent or difficulty, overconfidence is the most dangerous attitude. Only by giving proper respect to challenges can we fully realize our potential. The third lesson is to value the role of teamwork. No one can succeed alone. A strong team is built on trust, support, and responsibility from each member. Long-term success does not come from one outstanding individual but from an entire system moving toward a shared goal. For fans, I believe this is also a reminder to watch sport with a fairer and more positive perspective. Do not rush to label a team as weak just because it is missing a few stars. Do not judge success or failure based on a single match. The most valuable aspects of sport are fair competition, dedication, and the continuous effort of athletes. Fans should also learn to respect both sides. When we acknowledge the value of the opponent, we can truly appreciate the beauty of sport. Civilized discussions help communities grow more positively than criticism or mockery without basis. For the wider community, this story sends the message that respect is the foundation of all relationships. Whether in sport, education, or work, accurately assessing others' abilities helps us gain a more objective perspective and creates a healthier competitive environment. A developed society is not one where people constantly try to belittle each other, but one where everyone is recognized for their ability and contribution.
I also see that Savea's comments help spread a positive image of rugby. It is not only a physically demanding sport, but also one that values sportsmanship, humility, and respect for opponents. These values can certainly serve as lessons for many other areas of life. In conclusion, what I remember most is not the debates about strong or weak lineups, nor the pressure before the match, but the way Ardie Savea demonstrates the mindset of a true leader. He chooses respect over arrogance, calmness over pride, and trust over doubt. In my view, that is the image of a real leader. Whatever the final result of the match may be, the messages about sportsmanship, professionalism, responsibility, and respect carried by this story remain valuable lessons that we can all learn from and apply in everyday life.
Scrum Masters Elite_UK says goodbye for now. See you again with more leadership lessons from sport, and with the respect and resilience of Ardie Savea.